Hi, friends. I'm Zach.
I'm Mitch.
And we are an excellent little podcast.
We are here presenting you a little movie podcast starring Zach and Mitch.
Wait, we're doing a podcast?
Now that you mention it, Zach, we are doing a podcast.
Okay.
But something that we haven't discussed. We haven't discussed the deal. Like who gets what, how much they get.
Okay. I'm willing to negotiate here for about $20,000.
Okay.
And 2 gold bricks.
Well, that's a shit deal.
Well, that's what I'll go ahead and give you for a hit, evidently.
So you know, I think we need to go on a bullet train.
I think we do. I think we need to head to Japan.
All right. Really? Ooh, I like that.
You know what? No, I'm not feeling Japan. I'm feeling the Bahamas.
The Bahamas?
I'm thinking the Gulf Coast, or I'm thinking something a little bit later.
Are you?
No, I'm not hinting at anything. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Don't worry. But anyway, we're gonna head to Japan for a little bit.
Yeah.
For a very interesting David Leitch action film by the name of Bullet Train.
Bullet Train? Yeah. Well, he mentioned the director already, directed by David Leitch. Zach, would you be so kind as to talk about the screenplay?
Yeah, screenplays by Zach. That's why you did that. Okay, so the screenplay is by Zach. I'm going to say this once, and I promise.
I think it's Olkowicz.
Olkowicz and Kotaro Isaka, which Kotaro Isaka wrote the book, and Zach Olkowicz wrote the screenplay.
All right, so let's talk about the director.
Director, yes, David Leitch, coming off of Deadpool 2 fame,
and John Wick.
You can tell both of those that this is who directed that.
So remind me again, he also directed Atomic Blonde.
Yes,
is that right?
He did.
So when you mention this in your top 10, spoiler, sorry, Zach, but this is on Zach's top 10. I won't tell the number.
Yep.
But I was immediately excited because David Leitch's directing style is so unlike any action director we've seen before. Because a lot of action films, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't like them. I think the storyline is like
too basic.
Like everybody loves Jason Statham and Sylvester Stallone action films lately. I don't like them at all because
I like the Expendables stuff because they kind of poke fun at those said action films.
Which I understand, but David Leitch's directing at least has some kind of depth to every single film that he makes. Like he actually, you know how like Michael Bay, he's even admitted that I only make films for teenage kids and all this stuff. I don't care about story. Who gives a crap about story?
Yep.
David Leitch actually cares about story.
Yeah.
And to tell you the truth, I thought Deadpool 2 was better than the first Deadpool.
Admittedly, I disagree.
What?
But
Fuck you.
But it's fine. Don't get me wrong. I very much enjoyed Deadpool 2, but Deadpool 1 I just enjoyed a little bit better.
Okay.
I think it was a little more true to some of the characters.
Okay.
But Deadpool is Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool.
But I feel like David Leitch just had a better grasp on certain story elements.
That's fair.
That Tim Miller didn't have in the first Deadpool.
Okay.
And also, I don't like Tim Miller as
a director.
Yeah, especially after what I heard what he did with Terminator Dark Fate.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet, but I know what happens. But yeah, I really enjoyed David Leitch's directing style. I feel like out of all the action directors out there, he was perfect for this film.
Sure.
Absolutely perfect. And the screenplay by
Zach Olkowicz.
I was actually impressed with his script.
Yeah.
Now, was it great? No,
but it's a basic action. It's an action movie with intrigue,
and it actually had some comedy feels to it. With action films nowadays, you gotta have some comedy.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just seeing people kill each other, and there's comedy involved in things like that.
Oh yeah,
because especially with bystanders and with the cast here, you can't help but find comedic moments in every little fight scene and everything. And credit to director David Leitch for being able to use all the cast and their strengths with the script that he had with Zach Olkowitz.
Yeah. The best. So to me, one of the biggest things about this movie is that it just hits the ground running, and that's because of the screenplay. Like, you are dropped into it like right away, and you find out backstory and whatnot as it becomes relevant,
right?
Which is really great. So it makes the world so well lived in. It makes it so interesting, and I just love how claustrophobic it is of it taking place on a bullet train.
Which, to be 100% honest with you, a lot of people don't feel planes are claustrophobic. Trains are even more claustrophobic.
Oh yeah,
in my opinion.
Oh yeah, I love trains. Don't get me wrong.
I do too.
But they're a lot more claustrophobic in trains.
All right, so a quick summary. 5 assassins aboard a fast-moving bullet train find out their missions have something in common.
Huh.
What is it?
Who would have known?
What is it?
We won't say just yet.
All right, so now that you mentioned that, Zach, I will discuss the
order?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now that we got the director, screenplay, and the summary taken care of, we now will tell you what the order is. So we have our non-spoiler section where Zach will give his thoughts, I will give mine. We will discuss the cast and other things about the movie that aren't spoiler-y. Then we will discuss our review. And the review is split up into 3 categories. We ate it up, meaning we enjoyed it. We highly recommend it. Second is needs to cook a little more, meaning the film may need a little bit more seasoning, a character change, a change in script, change in actor, whatever. Director. And then our last one, we are feeding it to the dog, Jazz.
We love you. We're sorry if we feed you any bad movies.
He's still asleep. And basically what that means is we did not enjoy it, but we still want you to form your own opinion.
And go see it.
There are 2 other categories, but
this isn't going to come close to either of them.
That's not cutting it.
Yeah.
All right. And then Zach will sound an alarm.
You want me to do it now?
Don't.
Right now?
Stop,
right now? Okay.
Stop. Zach, I want you to look at me. I want you to breathe. Thank you.
What?
No. And then we will talk about spoilers.
Okay. Right now?
No.
I want to go as fast as a bullet train. I want to go now. We want to go now.
We have a schedule.
Okay.
We have a schedule.
Okay.
And then we will end it and we will go on our own merry way into the next episode or whatever the hell, how you're doing it. Okay. So, Zach.
Yep.
This is your number 10.
This was my number 10 on my top 10.
Not number 9.
Not number 9.
Not number 8.
Not number 11.
Not number 12. Your
number 10.
What do you think?
All right. So this was one of my ones of we know a cast, we know a director, we know a plot, and we know nothing else. So this was going to be a summer blockbuster. So I knew a trailer was going to be imminent when we did our top 10. So like, I think it was like about 3 weeks, a month after our top 10, we released it.
We got a trailer, I think, yeah.
And I was like, I saw it pop up, and I'm like, please still be a top 10. Please still be a top 10.
Well, I'm going to 100% be honest with you. We saw that trailer over and over and over again. I'm like, jeez.
It was like attached to like almost every single movie.
It was.
But when it first came out, like I was like, oh, thank God. Yes, this is definitely a top 10 for me. Because not only, again, is this an A-list cast, it's stacked with really great actors and actresses by a really wonderful director as well. But it's so wacky, so wonderful, and it's just so great. I love the claustrophobic idea of it being at a bullet train. I love how each character is so unique and so filled out. And even some assassins that we see that don't they make it through the movie? We don't know. They're still really well fleshed out and really wonderful. Each shot had a purpose. Each shot had a purpose. Each moment had a purpose. There was never a point in the movie where I was like, why are we going into this? This makes no sense. Each thing led to another. and it was great. It was such a ride. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. Mitch, what did you think about this?
This is one of the best action films I've ever seen. Par none. Period. Amen. And the sad thing is, the script is very cliche, but for this kind of movie, it was perfect.
Yeah.
And the cast, like you said, is completely loaded. I mean, you can't deny, you got Brad Pitt, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Joey King, Michael Shannon, other people that we haven't even mentioned yet.
Hiroki Sanada.
Hiroki
Sanada comes in.
Sanada. And my God, immediately you just see this action-y film that we haven't seen ever.
In a while.
And this is a remake, I think, of a Japan film. I actually did research. This is a remake of a Japanese film.
Huh.
And by God, this movie is just incredibly made, incredibly fast-paced, and it reminded me of a certain game that I'm not going to mention until we get to spoilers, because it will spoil the movie for you.
Gotcha.
But I'm hoping, Zach, you will agree with me, because it had very cool elements to it.
Oh, yeah.
And boy, oh boy, I can we get into the cast?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Brad Pitt. God bless you, sir. I love him. I love Brad Pitt.
So, like, Brad Pitt is no stranger to action films. However, he plays it as if, like,
he's
never, he's so done with this shit. Like, and the best thing about his character, like his trope, his code name is Ladybug, and ladybugs are supposed to be lucky. It's supposed to be a signal. He ain't.
No.
He's the most unluckiest bastard ever. But in the most luckiest ways. Like, yes. So, like, he's severely unlucky. Like, that you have to be, like, so unlucky for these, like, things to happen.
Oh, yeah.
That it has to be written by a scriptwriter. But, like, Front Door, man. Like, Jesus. There are so many times where you're like, my fucking God. At this point, could you really, like, do this?
Right.
And it happens, and you're like, Jesus. But Brad Pitt plays it so well. Like,
it's Brad Pitt. I mean, come on. The man, I've never seen him do a bad job when it comes to performing. I haven't.
No, he even was so good in Deadpool 2. Like, best role ever. Like,
you had to go there already.
I had to. But that's the thing that I also... I guess I can't bring it up. I can't bring it up just yet.
We'll get there.
But
we're going to the next person.
Yeah, we'll go to the next person.
Aaron Taylor Johnson as Tangerine. So, confession time.
Yeah.
I don't like him as an actor.
Oh, really?
I don't.
I love him as an actor.
I don't like him in Kick-Ass.
I love him in Kick-Ass.
I don't like him in... he was in the Pride and Prejudice with Keira Knightley.
I liked him in that.
I didn't like him at all.
Oh, come on, dude.
I feel like he plays the same, like, I'm going to be a badass. I'm going to be big. I'm going to be strong. I'm going to think I'm the best person in the room. I've seen it before, but I have to say... this is his best performance I've seen.
Okay.
Because he is hilarious in this movie. Because he has this chemistry with the next actor we'll talk about.
Yep.
So he plays codename Tangerine.
Yes.
And he has a twin?
Yes. Well, he's like this. So Aaron Taylor Johnson kind of plays like the straight hitman, as it were. Like if there was a hitman in a movie, it would be Tangerine.
Yes.
Like so this dude is by the books. He likes to do everything. He's kind of like I'll say he's the hard cop. Of the two.
He plays it so well.
He plays it so well, but his comedy comes from the seriousness of it. Almost kind of like he kind of like channels a little bit of like Gene Wilder a bit in this.
Absolutely.
Of like are you serious? Like, is this actually okay? We're doing it.
We're doing it now.
But he plays the straight man so well in this. It's so funny. Because originally I thought Brad Pitt was going to be like kind of like the straight man of this.
Absolutely,
and he does. Yeah. He plays it. But like this, to be honest, like Aaron Taylor Johnson like is the stereotypical hitman, straight man kind of thing. But you mentioned it. He has a twin. Is he a twin?
Probably not.
Probably not. But Brian Tyree Henry plays codename Lemon.
Yeah. So here's the thing.
Lemon didn't choose the code names.
No. So funny thing. So Brian Tyree Henry, you see in the trailer that he's an Englishman.
Yeah.
I thought that
he was an English actor?
I did, and I looked him up. He is American, and I'm like, holy, because his dialect in this film,
it's so good.
It was really good.
So good.
I was very impressed. But again, these two had literally one of the best chemistries in the movie.
Yeah.
With these two, I mean, period, amen. One of the best chemistries in action films I've ever seen.
Yeah. No, they have been brothers for ever since that they've been like young, and they go through the shit together.
Oh, absolutely.
And one person will fuck up and the other has to clean it. The other person will have to fuck up and they'll have to clean it up. Like it goes back and forth, but like you can't help but like love them. Like,
absolutely.
They're so great together, and they're so witty, so wonderful, and it's really genuinely because of their two performances.
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
So great.
But again, I was actually surprised with how well Aaron Taylor Johnson did, because again, I don't think he's that good of an actor.
I really love him as an actor. I think he's just been kind of given some like shit roles.
Okay.
Like Godzilla, he tried to salvage as much as he could from it, but it wasn't that. You have a Godzilla movie where Godzilla is in it for like just a little bit of time.
And I didn't enjoy him as Quicksilver.
I loved him as Quicksilver, dude.
I didn't know.
You didn't see that coming? Yeah. Like, oh God, I thought he was great.
But I can now see why Sony wants him as Kraven the Hunter.
Yeah, he would be. I am really excited to see him as Kraven. But yeah, those two are really, really great. And then we have good old Joey King coming in.
So this is the first time I've ever seen her on screen.
You've never seen Joey King?
Never, no. What has she been in?
Y'all, I gotta pull it all up just so that I can. Oh God,
I don't know.
Never seen Joey King.
What do you want from me, man?
Dude. All right, hold on. Let me pull up her IMDb because I need to just tell you all these films.
Well, shoot. What did I do?
But go ahead. You can go ahead and talk about what you thought of her performance while I go ahead and just pull up her filmography.
Fine. Jesus H. Christ. I mean, I thought she was really, really good. I was very impressed because out of the entire cast, she is the youngest. Because she's like... I know I looked her up earlier today. She's early 20s. And the majority of this cast, they're all in their late 30s. Yep. I know I think Brad Pitt is 60. I think he's
in his late 50s, 60s.
And other actors that I won't mention are in their 50s and 60s. But she was very good. And she had this presence that stole everything from everybody.
Every time she was in a scene, she stole the scene.
Absolutely. Yeah, I will agree 110%. But yeah, for the first time I've ever seen Joey King, I was very impressed with her work.
Yeah, okay. So, her filmography. So, how I got to know her was basically in a bunch of, like, things, like, when she was, like, a child actress. So, like, things like Horton Hears a Who, like Ice Age, Ramona and Beezus, Battle Over then she got into a little bit more of her more adult stuff, where she got into like Battle of Los Angeles, Crazy Stupid Love. She was a New Girl for a little bit.
Oh, was that it?
And then she was in The Conjuring, where she played the girl that was getting possessed in The Conjuring.
I thought I take it back. I had seen her in The Conjuring.
White House Down, she played Channing Tatum's daughter in that one. Shut up. She was in Fargo. She
okay, so
like she's been a really wonderful actress, and so having her on the bill, I was really excited for.
So yeah, I will agree. Joey King stole the show.
She is the one that has the handle on everything, and she's called the Prince in this one, and she rules with an iron fist. She she has a presence, and it is felt throughout this entire movie. Okay, then we have Andrew Kajoy, who
Koji, I think. Yeah.
Koji, yep, you're right. Who plays the father?
The father.
The father. So
like I am your father. No, it's not
that kind of father. But he is on the train for a vendetta. So we won't exactly say the vendetta.
Yeah.
But he's on the train for a vendetta. That's why he's on the train. Out of all the performances, I think he was the one that was a little bit overshadowed, a little bit weaker.
Yeah.
But
I think that was a script issue.
I think that he just didn't get a whole lot of screen time, honestly.
He still did fine.
He was the out of the characters that were the most present in this film, he had to take a sidestep. And there's a lot of characters in this film, so it's very hard to stand out amongst all these people.
But one person that I thought after finishing the film that I wanted a little bit more screen time, but I actually got the perfect amount, was Hiroki Sanada as the elder. He was perfect.
Oh,
amazing.
And he's always such a talent. You can't... Whenever he comes onto screen, you're like, oh, thank God, Hiroki Sanada's here. Like, the dude's so wonderful. It's so great to see him still, like, kicking and literally bring out the katana another time. Like, dude, he's so good.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just love him. So thank God for Hiroki Sanada.
We actually can't mention too much about him because,
again, his story is tied. His story is tied very much to another character, but we can't still spoil it.
We got one more,
then we got one more that we really can't talk so much about. But you see him in the trailer. I almost feel like we really even shouldn't like say like his name, his character name. But Michael Shannon's in here. I
was disappointed.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed by him.
I will say his overacting was very present because you know how that's just the way he is.
I will say that it wasn't like a matter of he wasn't trying. He definitely was. I just feel like the script kind of underplayed his character.
Yeah, because Michael Shannon is a very dramatic, but dare I say over the top kind of actor.
A little bit,
especially when he played General Zod, and
I liked his Zod.
I loved his Zod.
I loved his Zod.
But I don't know if you've seen the movie Revolutionary Road.
Yep, I've seen that one.
He was very over the top.
Yeah,
but he almost stole the show from both DiCaprio and Winslet.
Yeah,
and just a very small amount of screen time. So this guy he's
a powerhouse actor.
But I just feel I will agree. The script and the dialogue that he had for this character that I won't mention the name of was just off.
Yeah, I agree. Off is the right way to put it. But overall, like,
he did fine.
All right. So another thing, it's going to be a little bit hard for us to kind of go into, but
there's cameos.
There's a lot of cameos in this movie. Be ready for them.
Yeah.
And some of them, their faces are obscured. So be ready. But, oh boy, are you in for a ride for some of these cameos.
They nail it very well.
Each one does so well.
Well, not just that, but every cameo is not just there just for a cameo.
Correct.
These aren't like Stan Lee cameos, which I love Stan Lee's cameos. May he rest in peace. But these cameos actually push the story going forward, which is extremely hard to do.
Correct. And that's what I want to kind of lead into, which is our topic of every beat, every shot, every moment, every backstory, every character has a point. It is, each thing is intentional.
Right.
Which I love. You make a really wonderful comparison of this movie, it's very Clue-like.
Yes, that's what I mentioned.
You mentioned that, and I want to bring that up. It is very Clue-like, of the sense that everything is very well thought out. Everything has a purpose, and I feel that's why this stands out above many action movies, is because it's just kill here, kill there, yada da, la da da. This, every kill was intentional, every beat was intentional, every mystery was intentional. Well, everything has a point in this movie, and if you take your eyes off it, you are going to miss something.
Well, the fact that there's multiple assassins on this train, and there's multiple cars on that train.
Yeah.
So in reality, because you know how Clue is all like in a mansion,
one manor, and there's multiple rooms, and
and so it's like, so who killed this person in this car, and with what weapon? Or how did he kill it? And it's so, like, I recognized it around like a few deaths in, because Bullet Train, you all know there's death.
There's going to be death.
Yes. And there's also blood. There's
it's R-rated. Take your kids.
But there's a lot of blood.
Take your fucking kids.
But it's almost, I recognize him like, this reminds me of Clue.
Yeah.
Because it's so, well, and they did it so well, and it was fucking cool.
Yeah.
It was so cool. But like you said, intentional storytelling.
Yeah, every character had a purpose, every thought had a purpose. It was great. And that's something we see so rarely in not only action movies, but I feel like in just normal movies. We have kind of gotten away from intentional storytelling, and it's just the artistic vision, or people want to see this, people want to see that. No, everything had a purpose, and everything led to fate and moments, and it was great.
Bad luck and good luck.
Bad luck, good luck. It was great. But we mentioned action. Is there action in this movie?
There's a lot. And it was so well choreographed.
So fast paced.
I loved it.
It was so good, man. Like, they did.
And everything was used. And because in the trailer, you see Brad Pitt ask for a bottle of sparkled water. And in the trailer, obviously we knew it was coming in the movie. But you're like, in the trailer, I kind of thought, like, if he uses that bottle of water as a weapon, I'm going to laugh so hard in this trailer. And lo and behold, he uses a bottle of sparkled water as a weapon. And let this be a lesson to everybody. Everything can be used as a weapon. So please, children, don't use everything as a weapon.
No. And
but you know what I mean.
No, I do. And it was just so good. They were very intuitive in not only just setting it again in a bullet train, but of how they use the train as
a weapon.
And kind of to pair with the action, one thing that you kind of see that is pretty much hinted at in the trailer, but is used to such a wonderful degree, is that they use a bunch of American pop songs, but with Japanese lyrics.
Like Staying Alive.
From the Bee Gees. Like, they use those to such great effect, and each, like, action scene has its own beat and style to it, and it's so wonderfully used. I was multiple times like tapping my foot, bopping my head.
I was too
in the theater, because it punctuated each thing so well.
Yeah, I will agree. So one more quick thing, and then we're gonna review the setting.
We keep on bringing it up, man.
The setting is in a train. And it's in Japan. This is literally one of the perfect settings for a film like this. Period. Amen. Goodbye. And I dare I say it, but I want a sequel.
I would love a sequel to this movie, because like, it is so well done.
Especially in this setting. I don't know if I would want it on a train again, because obviously you can't top this movie, but
especially with something like a bullet train, like, because they even set up the train itself of, like, you have 1 minute to get on and get off this train. If you stop at a stop, you have 1 minute only. So there are multiple times where you go throughout of, like, just get off the train.
Get off the train.
Just go.
But I would want to see some of these characters. I don't want to say which ones survive and who don't, because there's a lot of death.
There's a lot of death.
But I want to see where these characters go, and I want to see more of this fast-paced action where everything can be used, and some other Japanese style of pop music that we haven't heard ever.
Maybe going through a hotel, a Japanese hotel, going up and down.
That is like an elevator and everything. Yeah. That would be or maybe in the style of Clue, a manor.
A manor.
That would be so perfect, especially with like so many levels of this mansion or whatever. Yeah. Oh, that would be perfect.
That would be cool.
But all right, Zach.
All right.
Wait.
Waiting.
Now.
Huh? What are you doing? I'm genuinely in the dark here. What's up?
You have to do the alarm.
No, we're not at that point. We got to tell them a review first.
Oh, how dare I?
But yeah, no, don't worry. All right, so that's the end of our non-spoiler section. So we're gonna go ahead and give the review.
How dare I?
It's
I got
all right.
a little too ahead of myself.
He got a little ahead, but that's fine. Don't worry. So we're gonna go ahead and get into our review. Again, our 3 topics here are gonna be Eat It Up, which is we loved it. Go see it. It's going to be great. It needs to cook a little more, where it just needs a little seasoning, a little spice, maybe.
Change an actor,
change an actor, change in script, change a director, remove a couple of minutes, add a couple of minutes, who knows? Or feed it to the dog, Jazz, who we love dearly, but I'm trying to not give you terrible movies.
So since this is on your top 10,
yep, my number 10.
What'd you think?
I ate this movie up so bad.
I'm gonna
so
say,
bad.
I also ate this up. I'm not even gonna waste any time.
Like
I loved it. Yeah.
Like it's genre defining, really. Like this genuinely is the best action film I have seen in years. Like,
yeah,
hands down. Like in the past, this is probably the best action movie I've seen in the past 20 years. Hands down.
I'm going to go further. I'm going to say 25. Yeah, I mean, I love this movie to a T.
So good. But yeah, all right.
Wait a minute.
Now, okay, so the whole confusion, Mitch left because he hates this next part. So, well, he's now closed the door. He is now out. All right, ready? We are now heading into our spoiler territory. So ready? Ding! Welcome to our spoiler section.
Fuck you.
Wah, spoiler alert.
Fuck you.
Mitch is back now.
God damn you. But yeah, now we're in spoilers. Ryan Reynolds is in this movie.
Yeah, no, he's in there for a second.
So
literally 1
it's
second.
Funny, Zach mentioned.
Yeah.
And I'm going to also mention another person after talking about. So Ryan Reynolds is in this movie for 1 second.
Which is funny.
Because this is a Brad Pitt film.
Yeah.
And Brad Pitt is in a Ryan Reynolds movie.
For 1 second.
And he dies. But this one, Ryan Reynolds kills somebody. Yeah, he lives.
Ryan Reynolds lives.
And it's funny because also Channing Tatum is in this movie. And it's funny. He is also in it for a short time.
But he's one of the lengthier cameos.
Yeah. But it's funny because this year, there's that Lost City movie.
Yep.
That Channing Tatum and Sandra Bullock. Sandra Bullock's in this movie too. Cool. And their feature, Channing Tatum and Sandra Bullock are featured predominantly.
Yep.
And Brad Pitt comes and
makes a kind of a cameo.
And as a cameo, Sandra asked him why he's so handsome. Because his dad's a weatherman. And now, coming full circle, Brad Pitt is featured predominantly in this movie, and the other two, Channing Tatum and Sandra Bullock, are literally just cameos.
Pretty much just cameos.
And I'm like, but I loved every second of it. And oh, yes, it was great. And Ryan Reynolds plays a character named Carver.
Yep.
Who calls in sick.
He calls in sick.
And that's why Brad Pitt is here.
He gets a point on his record card. And Brad Pitt is filling in for him. which sorry, the White Death, your plans have been stumped on that moment alone.
Because he's not Carver.
And
Michael Shannon plays the White Death.
Oh yeah, Michael Shannon plays the White Death. So
who's the antagonist?
Who's the antagonist of this film? And that's the thing. So they spend so much time building up like the White Death. Ooh, it's the White Death. They do a good job of building him up.
Oh, absolutely.
100%. So that when he comes, admittedly, he doesn't really... He's okay.
But Prince is his daughter.
Oh, yeah. Joey King. Joey King is the White Death's daughter, who you kind of see coming from a mile away.
Oh, for sure.
She has this entire... She knows the White Death, like his MO. She knows him so well to a T. Mm-hmm. So you're like, she knows him.
Yeah, they're related. They're related. Somehow,
they're a daughter. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we're kind of blowing through some of these topics really, really quickly, but okay.
We're enjoying it.
So Lemon, I kind of didn't want to kind of go into this a little bit until like we got into the spoiler section, but he's kind of more the childish.
Oh,
like
100%.
He's not a child. The prince is a child.
Yeah,
but. He's kind of got the more whimsy look on life a little bit more. And you see that through, like, he compares everyone to Thomas the Tank Engine characters. You're a Diesel. You're
so funny thing.
You're a Jeffrey.
I am not a Thomas the Engine fan.
No, okay.
I knew
they were creepy. I watched a couple episodes when I was younger.
I think that's it, because the whole show is literally these engines having the weirdest expressions,
human faces on their front,
and they're still making these shows on PBS. I think.
Yeah, I think so.
And because I was more,
they're terrifying.
Yeah, I think that was it. Especially when they would like get hurt and scared, they had like the scariest look on their face.
Well, and that's the thing. I think so. There's semi stop motion shows like. Of the sense of like when a train is moving, it's real time. It just moves.
Right.
But it's still frames for whenever there's talking or conversation. So it goes to one character and they have a face, and that face stays literally fixed in time while dialogue goes. Then it changes to another character who is still and has an expression. Then it changes back to that character who has a different face, and like it rotates.
The only thing that moves are their eyeballs.
Their eyeballs usually don't even move too. It's usually just like their face is still. It's like they like take off it's like an action figure where you like take off a face and put a new face on, kind of a thing. But it's creepy. It's creepy, but once you get past the creepiness, like each of the character represents a stereotype, which is kind of similar to this, which is why Lemon works really, really well, because Lemon kind of like is like,
you're a Diesel.
He puts those character stereotypes into a movie that's literally about character stereotypes.
Yeah, and you find out his brother Tangerine is a Thomas.
He's a Thomas. He's eventually a Thomas. We love him.
Because of things.
Yeah.
But we are in spoiler section.
We are in the spoiler section.
Tangerine
dies. But they kind of Romeo and Juliet it, because you genuinely think Lemon dies first. Yeah. Like genuinely. And they set it up because they did, again, this movie is all about intentional storytelling. In the beginning of the movie, literally like Tangerine and Lemon are like, Lemon, did you wear the bulletproof vest? And Lemon's like, no, the fuck I didn't wear the bulletproof vest.
Yeah, I remember that.
I'm not gonna fucking wear that shit. Like, he's like, what is it gonna stop? It's gonna stop nothing. Well, turns out Lemon did wear his bulletproof vest, and he survives, and he has it. But fortunately, Tangerine didn't.
Yeah, well,
dies.
A bulletproof vest wouldn't have saved the way he died, because he got a bullet to the neck, and that was one of the most gruesome deaths.
Oh yeah, in the movie, hands down.
Because I think
there's a lot of times though in this movie where you kind of have to throw out your disbelief a bit, especially at the final death with the White Death. I was generally like, how are you not dead? The dude literally has a katana through like half of his body,
and he just survived and there's a train wreck,
and the dude's walking around like it's like a flesh wound.
Yeah.
Like I was like, dude, no. I was like, nah. Like I'm okay with him surviving like a train wreck or whatnot, but the dude has a katana sticking out. Like half of his torso was cut in half, and a katana sticking in his belt, and the dude's still like going.
And the only way that he dies is a pistol that was made by his daughter to blow up whoever fires it.
Yep.
And that's the only. And it took him a while to fall down there too.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you see that they're walking off into the sunset.
Joey King shows
and there's the prince, and she gets hit
by the white death. Bump.
And the funny thing is, you think Lemon dies again because he jumps out of this moving train, and then you find out
he survived and hit the prince with the tangerine
because because there's a post-credit scene.
Yeah. One post-credit scene.
Yeah.
But I love that post. That was a really great.
That was one of the best. Yeah.
Yeah, so we got that.
We talked about a lot of blood.
There is a lot of blood. This definitely earns its R rating for sure, along with our review has earned an R rating. But like, it's great. Like, this movie is so great. Is it a sex thing? No, but it's so great.
Yes, it is.
I just can't explain how wonderful that this movie is.
I want a sequel. I'm telling you.
This is such a good... And you don't even... As great as the characters are, I would be totally fine with a completely new roster.
I would too.
And just have it be like a Bullet Train franchise, and each movie is a different roster of
characters.
Kind
of like what they're doing with Knives Out. I know, obviously, Daniel Craig is going to be the main person.
Yeah, like the Sherlock Holmes-esque.
Yeah. But I feel like you could definitely have... Because Sandra Bullock is in this, and she was the one that hired Brad Pitt's...
Yep.
So I feel like she could be that character that like, here, instead of hiring Brad Ladybug, let's hire somebody else.
You know what, screw you, Carver, you can't call out this time.
Yeah,
you're going.
Yeah.
Screw you, screw the wedding, or screw your tummy ache, you're going.
Yeah, I think that was it. He had a tummy ache.
But yeah, so Bullet Train, we both ate it up.
Absolutely,
this was great. Yeah. Please go see this movie.
Yes.
It's really wonderful.
But until that time, you better tell us what you want us to do next.
Yes, go ahead and email us at elpodcastmz@gmail.com with suggestions, ideas. Also, because we announced a while bit ago, I do want to put a tag on this. We announced a while ago that we were going to do a episode about the Roe v. Wade being cast out. We were looking around for friends to do that podcast, and we basically I was asking around with like a lot of my friends, and eventually the answers that we got were of that they didn't really want to do it, and the big answer and the reason why we're ending up not doing it is because a lot of the women and a lot of the non-gendered friends that I did talk to said there's not really much that we can add to the conversation that hasn't already been said. So while we do stand in support of it,
yes,
as always, that episode is ultimately not going to come to be, and especially because we would be getting it out so late, unfortunately. So it kind of died of multiple causes, but we wanted to also say that since we did announce that it was going to be coming,
we do apologize
for it.
But we do have other
episodes.
Things.
Yeah, we do have other great episodes planned, and we do want to have you guys involved in them pretty soon. So reach out if you want to join us on an episode, if you want to.
We do have something great planned, but we're not telling you yet.
It's coming. It's coming, dang it.
We got how many?
I think we got 2 more months now.
2 more months.
2 more months.
But it's like we're going to sail away.
It's going to be so relaxing. But we're going to have so much fun in those 2 months. But we can't wait.
We will see you later.
We cannot wait. But until that time, I'm Zach.
I'm Mitch.
And we are an excellent little podcast.